Hey everyone, welcome back to Tried, Tested, and True Instant Pot Cooking, where I share with you Instant Pot inspirations and ways to feel confident using your Instant Pot. I'm Lisa Childs, and today we are going to be making two of the yummiest recipes ever. First, we are actually going to do an Instant Pot buffalo chicken dip with homemade ranch seasoning. You can use your own prepackaged ranch seasoning if you'd like, but we have it all homemade. And then second, we are going to do some air fryer buffalo chicken wings. So good, and you can do them from fresh or frozen. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to do them from frozen, so let's get cooking. For the buffalo chicken dip, you will need half a cup of water, 1 chicken breast, about 12 ounces, and a 1/4 cup of buffalo sauce. So I like using Frank's Red Hot. I just get the regular red hot kind. I don't get the buffalo kind. The buffalo kind is a little bit lighter. It's not as spicy because they've already mixed it with a butter seasoning or blend to make it less spicy. So you will also need half a teaspoon of garlic salt or garlic powder, and a splash of soy sauce. I usually use about a teaspoon. You'll also need 8 ounces of cream cheese, half a cup of cottage cheese or sour cream. You can use either one. Sour cream just has a little bit more of a sour, tart flavor, and cottage cheese melts a little bit, and so it adds a little bit more bulk and protein to the buffalo chicken dip. You'll also need 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese and 1.5 cups of shredded pepper jack cheese. For the homemade ranch seasoning, you'll need half a tablespoon of dried parsley, half a teaspoon of dried dill, 1 teaspoon of freeze-dried chives, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a tablespoon of dried onion flakes, and 1/4 teaspoon each of dried basil and seasoned salt. So first off, let's take our Instant Pot and we're gonna add half a cup of water. Now, most recipes will tell you you need to use at least a minimum of 1 cup of water, but since we're using a chicken breast, it expels a ton of water while pressure cooking. So we're also going to sprinkle that with some garlic salt or garlic powder. For chicken, you can get away with as little as a 1/4 cup of water, but today we're going to do half a cup of water and a 1/4 cup of just a little bit of the Frank's Red Hot sauce, just so it can kind of incorporate that flavor into the chicken while it's cooking. And add a little soy sauce to taste. You don't need to do anything else, just put on that lid onto your Instant Pot and turn the knob from venting to sealing. Now press the manual or pressure cook button and adjust the time to 20 minutes. You can also press the meat/stew setting and then adjust the time to 20 minutes. Or if your chicken is a little bit larger, you can add more time up to about 25 minutes. Also, I've had this Instant Pot since I think September, and I just realized that I didn't take the film off of the front, and it's a little bit painful whenever you do that, but I let my little boy take it off, and it's just so satisfying taking that off, right? But I think I'm just kind of like a freak that always had to just keep the plastic film on everything to keep it as new as possible. Pretty sure that's just like an Asian thing, I don't know. Alright, so after the chicken is done cooking for 20 minutes, an L will appear on your Instant Pot, meaning lapsed time, so how many minutes are past the point of pressure cooking, and you'll want to wait until the pin drops on the top of your Instant Pot. So that is called a full natural pressure release. Usually this takes about 15 minutes for a cup of water, but it can take a longer time. So if you have like a soup that has a ton of liquid and a ton of pressure, that will take much longer time for the natural pressure release. Now open up your lid and we're ready to shred the chicken. So you can take some tongs, some forks, whatever you want, and shred the chicken inside of the Instant Pot, or you can transfer the chicken breast out into a separate bowl or a cutting board and shred it up with some meat claws, whatever you want. What I like to do is usually just break it up a little bit in the Instant Pot, or if I do it on a cutting board or a separate bowl. If I do it in a separate container, I like to reserve some of the cooking liquid and add it back to the chicken to make sure that it's not dry. You can use this in any scenario where you're shredding meat. Just make sure you add some of that cooking liquid back to like kind of re-moisten it a little bit because you don't want dry chicken. So it doesn't have to be completely shredded at this point, but I'll just throw that back into the Instant Pot after I've strained off that cooking liquid, because we don't need all of that liquid for the buffalo chicken dip, but I'll just keep that to the side in case I want it to be, a little bit more thinned out with some flavor. So to the chicken in the Instant Pot liner, add 8 ounces of cream cheese, and you can soften it beforehand, or you can just leave it like straight from the fridge. But if you do it straight from the fridge, make sure to cut it up so that it melts a little bit faster. Next, add half a cup of cottage cheese or sour cream. I use cottage cheese today just because that's what I had, but you can use either one. Next, add half a cup of Frank's Red Hot sauce. Then I'll add 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese and 1 cup of shredded pepper jack cheese. I'm going to reserve that half a cup to sprinkle on top so then I can bake it and kind of melt it, make it look really nice. All right, next we are going to add our homemade ranch seasoning. So these are the spices and herbs that we talked about earlier. We've got our parsley, dill, chives, garlic, dried onion, seasoned salt, and basil. So just mix that all up in a little bowl and then just sprinkle it in. It's kind of like using a packaged ranch seasoning. So if you're using like a Hidden Valley ranch packet, something like that, just add in 1 full packet. Or if you have the bigger bulk container, add in about 2 or 3 tablespoons just to taste. If you don't have the dried mixture, you can also just use your favorite ranch or blue cheese dressing. It will just be a little bit thinner in consistency at the very end. So what I like to do at this point is just put the lid back on the Instant Pot, and then I'll press the keep warm button. So then everything can just kind of warm through and the cream cheese can melt, the cheese can melt, and then I'll give it a mix. This is my hack for perfectly shredded chicken. I like to use my hand mixer to shred up cooked chicken, meat, whatever you want, and it just demolishes it. And it's so convenient. I really like using this tip. So you can do this in a crock pot. You can do this when you bake chicken on the stove. You can also do it in your KitchenAid mixer or like a stand mixer. But since I only have just this one chicken breast, I'm going to use my hand mixer. Once that's all incorporated, just give it a taste. If you want it to be spicier, you can add more of that Frank's hot sauce. If it's too spicy for you, you can add more ranch or sour cream or cottage cheese. If you want it cheesier, you can add way more cheese. If you like it a little bit less chickeny, just add another block of cream cheese. You can adjust this however you want, and that's really the beauty of it. You just kind of throw everything together, but this is just how I made it today. So you can serve it just like that, since it's, it's already done, it's cooked, and you can serve it. Or what I like to do is put it in a greased casserole dish, and then I like to bake it either in the oven, or if it's small enough, I like to just pop it in the air fryer for about 5 minutes to broil it, to get it warm. And then it's a lot prettier to serve, since you sprinkle that pepper jack cheese on top, and then it melts. And then I like to top it with some additional green onions for garnish. You can serve this buffalo chicken dip with cut up vegetables like celery and carrots. It's also really good with crackers, tortilla chips on little pieces of crostini or toast, and it's delicious. You can also just wrap it up in a tortilla and grill it like a quesadilla. You can roll it up in an egg roll. You can eat it on top of a salad. You can eat it in a lettuce wrap. It's very multi-useful, and it's such a yummy, delicious, spicy snack. All right, our next recipe is a favorite of mine. I am obsessed with buffalo chicken wings. I could eat them probably every day. They're so delicious. They're easy to just pop in even for like lunch or dinner, and they honestly could not be easier. So I love making them in the air fryer because they actually taste like they are fried. You're not going to get this kind of crispiness if you just throw them in the oven. They're just going to get like dry and baked. The air fryer just makes them so good. So I'm excited to show you today how I make frozen chicken wings in my air fryer. All right, first things first, you want to preheat your air fryer. If your air fryer does not have a preheat function, that's totally fine. You just want to get it warm so then it gets cooking like right away. So if you don't have a preheat function on your air fryer, just turn your air fryer on and let it preheat for about 5 to 10 minutes at 425. If your air fryer doesn't go that high, mine doesn't, just do it at 400 degrees. But you want it to be between the 400 and 450 range. I just would tell you to do it at the highest temperature your air fryer goes. After your air fryer has preheated, so I have the Instant Pot Vortex Plus. It's kind of cool because it will actually tell me when it's preheated and it will tell me to add my food. I really like this air fryer. It's actually a lot more powerful than the other one that I had. So the other one I actually don't use very often anymore because this Instant Pot brand is actually a lot better. I was not paid to say that. I've done 2 batches of wings at the exact same time, one in my gourmet air fryer and one in my Instant Pot air fryer. They're the exact same size. They look almost identical, but the Instant Pot air fryer cooked so much faster and a lot crispier, so I just use that one from now on. So now you want to add in your frozen wings into the Instant Pot. I use these Tyson first and second section wings that I picked up at Costco, but you can pick any wings. You can kind of see the size of mine, so if yours are a lot bigger than mine or a lot smaller than mine, just be sure to adjust your time. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make when cooking with their air fryer is like crowding the basket with way too much stuff. You'll see in marketing pictures where they're like advertising for air fryers and there's like fries like overflowing out of the basket. I'm like, that is so misleading because you're never gonna fill up, like the basket's like this tall, right? You're never gonna fill up the whole thing. It would never work because you need the air circulation all around the food and you're supposed to cook everything in like a single layer. So I don't agree with those marketing pictures, but I'm just here to tell you how it really is. So that is definitely one of the biggest rules when air frying, but this is the exception. When you use frozen meat like this, when you cook with wings, the pieces are going to shrink down significantly. So you can put in a couple more than you think you might be able to get away with because in about 8 minutes here, these are going to shrink and you're going to have that air circulation you need to make them super crispy. So add in your frozen chicken wings. You can just dump them in, just kind of shake them out and make sure that they are in a single layer. And they can be touching because like I said, they are going to shrink. So now what I do is I set my air fryer for 25 minutes. And then I'm going to check these about every 5 to 8 minutes, a little bit less at the end when I'm kind of checking each time to make sure they're the right crispiness I need. But for the first like 2 checks, you can get away with about 8 minutes each. Let the chicken wings just cook for about 8 minutes and then open up that air fryer and check them. At this point, all of the ice is going to be melted off and then you can season it with a little bit of garlic powder, garlic salt, some other seasoning blend that you love because now it's going to stick to the chicken. If you try seasoning your wings before when they're super frozen, it's just all going to melt off, so there's no use in doing it then. You just want to wait until, all that residual ice is melted off of your chicken and you're ready to season at this first flip. So season them and then I like to flip them using some tongs so then they can get nice and evenly cooked all the way around. Some air fryers you don't need to flip, but I just find for the best results it's better to flip. Now that you've flipped and seasoned your wings, just let them cook for another 5 to 8 minutes and then flip them again. You want to do this a total of about 3 or 4 times depending on how crispy you want your chicken wings. Usually during the last cook, like the last 5 minutes or so, I'll mix together my buffalo wing sauce. So first you want to start out with some butter. I'm just using about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of butter, and if you don't like them spicy, then you can add way more butter, like you can use half a stick, about 1/4 cup, or half a cup, which is a full stick, and that just makes it way more mild. So to my butter, I'm gonna add about half a cup of buffalo sauce. Just again, we're using that Frank's buffalo sauce. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more garlic salt and soy sauce. And then I'll just microwave it for a couple seconds to melt everything and then whisk it together. And now it's ready for our wings. But the main factor in making sure that your chicken wings are safe and cooked all the way through is to measure them by temperature. It's the most accurate way to cook, and if you're nervous about cooking, if you're not confident cooking, using the right tools is going to make you feel more confident because you don't have to guess. I use a cooking thermometer literally every single time I cook, especially in the air fryer, because I can just easily check and make sure that everything is like okay. I don't have to like cut into anything. I just know if the temperature is safe, then it's cooked and ready to go. So chicken is done at a minimum of 165 degrees. These wings are going to get a little bit hotter than that just because they're a lot smaller and you need to cook them a little bit longer to make sure that they're crispy on the outside. So I use my Thermapen and I just make sure everything is cooked. I usually go for the largest chicken, drumstick or chicken wing. I stick it in the thickest part of the chicken to make sure that it's all the way cooked. I'll leave a link below down to my Thermapen. I'm obsessed with ThermoWorks products. They are a local company here in Utah, but they supply the world's best thermometers. And no, they didn't pay me to say this, but I'm seriously obsessed with like cooking by temperature because it's the most accurate. So these chicken wings are done and we are ready to season them. These wings are so good. They are so crispy and I love when they drop into the buffalo sauce. They kind of sizzle. So I'm going to use some tongs and take my air fryer wings from the air fryer and put them in the bowl of sauce and just toss them together. And oh my gosh, I am salivating. At this point, you could also toss them in whatever sauce you want. So if you want to make like a lemon Parmesan garlic sauce, just melt some butter, add some Parmesan cheese, add some lemon zest and juice, a little bit of parsley, maybe some garlic, and then add the wings and then just toss them up like that. So good. And you can also use any sauce you want. So if you want like a teriyaki, a barbecue, or a mango habanero sauce, or any sauce that you can find from like your favorite wing place, you can use that for sure. It's all the same way how to make them. This is just how we're making them today. All right, so now that they're done, you can enjoy these air fryer buffalo wings with some ranch dressing or blue cheese dressing. You tell me which one is your favorite. Blue cheese always reminds me of my mom, but I'm more of a ranch person myself. And now you have two amazingly delicious Instant Pot and Air Fryer buffalo sauce recipes that I hope that you'll use soon. If you have any questions about my air fryer, you can watch my Instant Pot Air Fryer lid versus air fryer video that I made a couple weeks ago. I know that you guys really like that video, and if you want more air fryer recipes, let me know in the comments below. All right, have a good day. Bye.